Ladies and gentlemen, the late Jesse Powell passed away September 13th, 2022. The unique thing about it, I'd only heard of Jesse Powell, never ever listened to any of his music because it just wasn't there. But I went, after I heard of his passing, I said, okay, fine. I've heard the name so many times. Let me go listen to Jesse Powell. Let me see if I would have listened to Jesse Powell. Ladies and gentlemen, this young man, I'm going to go ahead and bring the volume down. Sorry about that. It's just the way YouTube does this stupid stuff. I'm going to let him play in our background for just a moment. When that song goes off, we're going to talk about this young man in a moment. Associated with 1215.org and the itty bitty. Okay, itty bitty. Sorry. There is a lot of information. Those of you who want to understand a little bit more about law, I'm going to suggest you start with this young man. Why? Because he talks about both common law and statutory law and the differences in between the two. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jesse Powell, this song right here, they were correct, the people who commented on his vocals and his octaves. You see, I've never heard the song because I stopped listening to the radio. I don't listen to the radio. So if there's a new song that comes out, I don't get to hear it. That's been the case since 1996. Because I don't want the radio telling me what to like and what not to like. They keep playing the same songs over and 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 over again, so that you get so familiar with it that, oh man, that's my song, when it really ain't your song. Somebody made it your song. It's called brainwashing. Repeating the same things over and 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 over again is brainwashing, ladies and gentlemen. Listen to this right here. He's about to, while holding this note, he's about to hit another octave. Okay? From this day forth. Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem that I will say. Sorry. I've heard from this day forth. I've heard that line, that part of the song before. So I've heard Mr. Powell before, but never downloaded Jesse Powell. Never listened to any of his music. I got to go back through some of the other songs he's done just to make sure. But that's just the way it is. Because I don't listen to the radio. And technically, a lot of artists, the only way I even know anything about The Weeknd is because I was going through YouTube, because that's what I do. I go to YouTube and I was listening to artists and people who put out music, and a lot of it I don't have a liking for, but I stumbled on The Weeknd and I'm like, this fool's all right. I'm not talking about the way he is now, Lord have mercy, but the music he was putting out on YouTube before he became known, he had millions of followers on YouTube, but before he became known, that music was on hit. And you heard me say it. That shows you how old I am. Ladies and gentlemen, the late Jesse Powell. Well, how did he die? We don't need to know how he died. We just need to understand that the young man passed away, and his two sisters and the rest of his family suffering as a result of that. I heard about his disenchantment with the music industry. I feel for you, Mr. Jesse. When CBS Records were starting their rap section of their, because they didn't have a rap section, when they were starting up, they offered us a $1 million contract, me and a friend. All we had to do was put together 5 groups. 3 rap groups, 2 R&B groups. They gave us $1 million just to put together the artists. That would, at the time, pay for studio time. That was 1989, 1990, 1991. All we had to do was take care of the studio time. Do you know we couldn't get a single group to show up? Not a single group to show up to rehearsals. They just didn't want. Somebody asked me to do all 5 albums. I said no, I don't want to be, and I told them I don't want to be like nobody's Hammer. See, Hammer was dun 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 dun, dun can't touch this. That's all you heard. 24 hours a day. Hammer, hammer, hammer. That's all you heard. I got tired of listening to Hammer. Not that I didn't like MC Hammer, okay? Because I promise you I did. What I didn't like, ladies and gentlemen, was the same songs over and 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 over again. Again, that's why I stopped listening to the radio, because they kept. I don't want to be brainwashed. Okay, I don't appreciate it. The only person who can brainwash me is the God that I serve. Hey! I just need y'all to remember Tavares in our background. All right. There's a couple of things I want to talk about today. We're going to talk about this gentleman in the background in a moment. But someone sent me a video. They said, I just want you to know individuals have been saying things about you on the internet. She says, but however, the moderator of the YouTube, he put things in check. She says, I think you might want to listen, because I think that he really did give you your props. And this person who gave this to me, I have respect for. She has no idea how much respect I have for her. So I go and the rest of you, don't send me no videos of people talking about me. I don't give a what people have to say about me. I honestly don't. Okay? People have been talking about me all my life. So doesn't matter, bad, good, I don't care. I ain't gave nobody permission to talk about me. Go ahead, take a listen to my videos. This is not about me. None of this information is about me. And I don't know why people can't get that. But individuals were talking about my past. The past that I revealed. That I did a seminar in Cleveland, spent 15 straight minutes explaining what happened. Told the people at the seminar, if you didn't appreciate it, get your up and go on. But you're not getting a refund. Because this seminar ain't about that. Let me explain to you one thing. Nobody got up. Nobody walked out. It's videotaped. I said, so we're going to talk about this information we came here for. And for 8 hours, we talked. See, my seminars were 8 hours long, 3 days in a row or 2 days in a row. 8 hours long. And if you didn't think you were overwhelmed by the end of that first day, even by lunch, and people were allowed to ask me questions, and then we went to dinner that night, and people were allowed to ask questions. I still speak to many of those people to whom we went to dinner. No, we didn't go to no fancy, no stupid restaurant, because I'm not into fancy restaurants. Give me a large plate of fries, and I'm satisfied. As long as there's ketchup and fries, I'm satisfied. And some fish, ooh, lordy. Okay? Seriously, I'm not joking about that. Because my job was not to milk people for their money. Look, so that you guys understand, because some of you don't understand me. So I'm going to explain me to you. There's a gentleman, he just spent $550. Okay, and so I sent them the notification about how to schedule the consult, because that's the only thing that costs $550. Getting several emails from him. He's talking about sat packs and getting a sat pack and giving money to the organization. And I'm thinking, oh God, he doesn't really know what he wants. So I called him up yesterday. This is several days later because I'm still trying to figure out what is it he wants. So I called him up because I had already given him my phone number to call me, because I do that with everybody who wants a consult. They get my number immediately. As soon as I see the email, hey, call this number, and I give them as soon as possible so that we can talk, so I can find out what your issues are. So I call him up, and I find out that he really is all over the place. He didn't really know what he wanted. He definitely wanted to get into the tax credits, and I need those of you all to pay attention. We're definitely going to be talking about tax credits in this video. You are definitely going to want to stay for that. Sorry, you're just going to have to wait for it. So in talking with this individual, I told him, I said, I'm issuing a refund of your monies. He says, well, I just need to know. I said, no, what you need to know is this is not that organization. There are no memberships here. You don't get to pay for a membership. You don't get to buy your way in. I said, we don't operate that way. Other organizations operate that way, but we don't operate that way. I said, so, well, I mean, what about the consult? I said, if you still want the consult, you can have the consult, but go to YouTube, type in consult with Eon, and watch the last 2 videos. They're short. It'll explain to you exactly what you can expect. He says, oh, so I can just go and... I said, no, you have to go to YouTube. And you have to type in the search bar in YouTube, consult with Eon. Hold on. Let me do this. I'll go back to this right here. CONSULTWITHEEON. Now we're just looking for how to do a consult with Eon and consultation with Eon. How to get a consult with Eon. That's all you have to do. It hasn't changed. The same process. But I say watch the latest 2 videos because they go into a little bit more detail. Okay? But individuals are wanting to know. Videos have been done. Tells you exactly what they're about. Okay. So, he'll be able to go. You can go to the Eon channel and just simply do consult with Eon and you'll pull up the exact videos. But he couldn't get the go to the Eon channel thing. So, I just told him, go to YouTube, type in the search bar, consult with Eon. Ladies and gentlemen, this young man paid. SATCOM doesn't do refunds. But why would we take this man's money? That doesn't make any sense. No. He says it's just a donation. I said, no, you don't get to just donate because you feel like it. We don't operate that way. You don't donate unless we say it's okay to donate. We haven't said it. There's no donation button on any of my sites. You don't even see a donation button on my channel. But you did that in 2021. Yes, 2021. I said, hey, if y'all help me, I will give you all the information you need. But remember, I've been giving you all this information for over a year. Information that's right on the money. Okay? Information, and if you paid attention to it, you'll know that I gave you everything you need. We're going to talk about some of that information today, so please stay tuned. All right, let's segue back to the other conversation about the young man and the people talking about my past. Okay? All right, fine. All right, ladies and gentlemen, while they are saying all kind of things, there's one commenter, because it's a live feed. One commenter says, look, after all the things this man has done, the amount of time he's spent trying to educate people, the amount of information he's put out there for free, and all you guys want to do is focus on his past? See, that guy got it. You know what he got? That it's about the information. Test the information out. The information that you're receiving, test it out. Prove me wrong, is what I've said. Prove me wrong. Now, the people who decided they ain't gonna listen to my video, I don't give a... I'm not looking. You don't hear me saying subscribe. It'll really help me out. Hit the like button. You don't hear me saying none of that on any of my videos, except as a commentary. and sarcasm. Okay? Why? Because I'm not doing this for popularity. I'm not doing this to have people like me. People, if I wanted people to like me, do you know what type of production I could put together and make this into a, hey, look at me, I'm somebody? Why would I do that? That's never been me. That's never been me. Yes, 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 yes. I am stuck on myself because it doesn't cost me anything to be stuck on me. But for me to be stuck on somebody else, I have to give up so much. So I'm going to stay stuck on myself. But you're not going to hear me sitting up there wanting to make you listen to me because I'm better than somebody else. Guess what? I agree with Paul. I'm the lowliest of all. I don't mind having that attitude. And nobody can take that from me. I don't care what you say about me. I could care less about what is said about me. I've had judges say things about me, and I am now taking the time to go after these ignorant-minded judges. You know, I had judges go after SAA. Whew. And a lot of people are telling us about SAA, and I'll be doing a video later this week about SAA because I promise you, you're going to love SAA after I do that video. By the way, they've been trying to shut down SAA and they haven't even come close. Why? Because SAA isn't doing anything wrong. All SAA is doing is sitting up there conducting legitimate arbitrations. Why? Because the only thing SAA is doing is determining whether or not the other party's in default. Whether or not there's a valid contract and the other party, whether or not they have defaulted on the contract. And issuing an award based on the default. People don't understand. After the award is issued, all you have to do is wait 90 days. That's your tax credits. It's automatic. And nobody gets it. It's just SAA is on a strict policy of being reasonable. So first, it has to be a legitimate contract. So we're going to talk about it. What constitutes a legitimate contract? And the amount has to be reasonable between the parties. We're going to talk about what's considered reasonable. And you have to have served the parties. We're going to talk about what constitutes service after you've done those things, which only cost you a couple of dollars. Then you apply for arbitration. And the arbitration is, did they default? If you have proof that you mailed them and they provided no proof that they communicated back, and they will be given an opportunity to provide that proof, then they're in default and the award is issued. It's just that simple. It has never been more simple. Ladies and gentlemen, as I told you, to the present day, they knew exactly what I was doing with arbitration. They knew I was going to proliferate that. Hey, if you did that for Starks, then equal protection of law says you got to do that for everybody else. So those of you who have these arbitration awards, go after your credits first. We're going to talk about tax credits in just a second. So I want y'all to stay tuned. It's coming. All right, getting back to that, the moderator, because somebody else came forth and said that he's been to jail. You can look it up. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been to jail 4 times. Well, prison twice, jail 4 times. 1999, well, 98, but that was legitimate. I put myself there. I turned myself in. Yay! No, it was the right thing to do. You know, I've always loved this song. I promise you, I've always loved this song because so many people have tried to do this song and take the words of this song. They've taken the melody, but this song I've always liked. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the fact that I was extradited from New York to North Carolina, I told people it's going to be for 45 days. I told them that in 2001. This didn't happen until 2005. At the exact same time Katrina was happening, that's when I was going through that ordeal. I told people it was going to happen in 2001. Why? Because the God that I served made me aware of it. No, 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 I didn't hear no voice. It was just literally an understanding. Just like I knew when I went, that's why I went to Puerto Rico. I knew that I would be in a jail with white walls, blue doors. Go ahead and ask anybody about the Metropolitan Detention Center. White wall, blue doors. But I did videos on it, wrote it down. And I can't, no, I didn't do videos on it. I got to be very careful. I did audio videos. See, I put it on audio and then I put it on video for myself. That's right, myself. Why? Because I'm a naysayer. You can't just come up to me and tell me something's going to happen in the future. Oh no, I'm going to call you on it. So I recorded it and put it on video for myself. Put it on audio for myself because I didn't want to remember. I mean, didn't want to forget. Wanted to remember. So 45 days. And I'll tell it to you like it is. That I would meet 45 people who didn't know who Jehovah was. I counted it. 45 people. Lucius Lucky. That's where Luscious came from. Lucky and Lucius combined. But Lucius Lucky of North Carolina, he can tell you. Because I went to Lucius Lucky. I said, I don't know why I'm still here. It's supposed to be for 45 days. And I talked to everybody about Jehovah here, and I said, I realized that there's one person that I haven't talked to, and that's you. Because your wife and your daughter are Jehovah's Witnesses, I assumed you knew the information, but now I realize you don't. And we sat for an hour, and we talked. And I showed him from the scriptures what the Bible has to say on things. And after that hour, I shut the Bible. I said, do you see how nobody has interfered with our conversation? Previously, every time we would talk, somebody would come by the table. We're in jail. So when I'm talking, people always come to sit and listen because that's what I do, people. I do this that I'm doing here in there. So people are always coming around me sitting and ear jacking. Okay? They are listening to every word, hanging on words, asking questions. I said, do you see how nobody's interrupted this conversation in the last hour? Okay, that's how it happens. That's how I know. And next thing I hear is, Jones, roll your stuff up. You're out of here. I had no clue, other than the fact that it was supposed to be 45 days. 45 days to the day they released me. Guess what? I never heard anything else from them. Charges dropped. Case gone. No. No. You mother took 45 days from me. I'm going after them, the states. That's what the arbitration awards were for. And I'm going after the judges for thinking it was okay to do that. You didn't have a cause, a rhyme, or reason for arresting me in the first place, but you did it because you could. Ladies and gentlemen, the Act of 1866 says they can't do that. So, 45 days, I told everybody before it happened in Puerto Rico. Said, I'm going to be in for a short time. I know it. It's going to happen. I didn't know it was going to be Puerto Rico, but I told everybody. I sent the Treasury 5 money orders. 3 for $680 trillion. 420 trillion dollars. 3 for 420, 2 for 680. 5 money orders in 5 separate envelopes. Certified mail. I got the return receipt. And I did that while I was in Puerto Rico. Why? Because I was bored. You were bored? So you sent them a quadrillion? There you go. I was gathering tax credits for myself. I was paying all my debts in advance. You know, the Treasury did receive that. Okay? And they never returned any of them. But they did return to my home and say, hey, I told you guys the story. One of the neighbors says, hey, the police are at your house. I said, really? He said, what are you going to do? I'm going home. I blew the engine in my car trying to get home. Why? Because I wasn't running from nobody. That's what they'll report on YouTube. Yeah, he's been running and changing his name. Ladies and gentlemen, I ain't been changing nothing. My name is Eon. Hold on. Let me show y'all something. Technically, I should be putting y'all on pause, but this has to be in real time because it wouldn't work otherwise if it wasn't in real time. So it has to be in real time, and I do hope I have the document pulled up because it would be foolish if it wasn't pulled up. I also, here's the other problem. I will have to redo this whole video is if I open up something and it's someone's personal information. Okay? No, that's not what I want. Give me a second. I may have to go here to find out for certain because it doesn't make any sense for me to pull up something that ain't supposed to be pulled up. Tax breaks, conservative tax, those are tax credit things. I looked those up later after I downloaded this document. So give me one moment. And it may not be here. It may be under documents, and that's going to be the harder part. Hey, somebody help him because he's been looking for her for a long time, all the way since the 70s. How come nobody's helping this man? See, he's been lonely all that time. We're going to go to documents because I know it's probably in documents. So, oh, yeah. Now, just so you guys know, because I've had a lot of people talk about this mother is sitting up here trying to hide and evade and change his name. This is San Bernardino County. While I was inside, I told everybody I was doing the name change. Look who they wrote. The court wrote Eon. Go ahead, type in Eon and you'll see how many courts communicate with Eon. When I say Eon has changed my name, Eon has changed the name. I've changed the name to Eon. I did this so long ago. This is me writing a petition for reconsideration under the provisions of redress, the right to petition for redress. Now, I don't care about what this judge wrote. This is the presiding judge of the court that wrote me, ladies and gentlemen. This is the presiding judge. So I just want you guys to understand that this man ain't running from nobody, ain't hiding from nobody. Again, I'm going after judges now. I ain't making no qualms about that. I'm not afraid of no stupid judge. I'm not afraid of no stupid police officer. Please understand that. I don't cause them no problems, but I'm definitely going to make sure that they understand that I kept my mouth shut before. I'm not keeping my mouth shut now. Sorry. The reason why I am mentioning these things is because there are people out there trying to make it seem like I'm doing something wrong, like I'm violating the law. I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses, and as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, I cannot violate intentionally the law. Why do you think I turned myself in? Because the God I serve requires that I obey Caesar's law, but his law above all things. The problem is I violated both. And like I told everybody else, especially in Arizona, I said to the guys who were in the holding cells when they were going to court for the first time, I said, look, ask Jehovah for his help. Tell him what you've done. Tell him what you are willing, what you think is fair. And then see what happens. Every single one. There was about 4 of them that took me up on that because in a room full of 79 people, it's kind of difficult. That's how many people Arizona's Sheriff Joe Piles, Sheriff's Department, that's how many they would pack in one room. One little cell, no sitting room, okay? 79 people. We counted it. 79 people. All right. There was never a fight. There were always suggestions that there might be a fight, but never a fight. But while I was there, um, but the individuals would go in there and they come out laughing and smiling and happy and everything. It worked. It worked. And Lord, have mercy. All I can say. So once I was in, said to myself, how much was I willing to do? And that's what I went for. But they've gone way beyond that. I was only supposed to do a year plus a year. And when they pissed me off, I did something that made it to where they were supposed to release me the very next day after the hearing. And they decided to aggravate things in violation of law, their own laws. I allowed it, ladies and gentlemen. I did not interfere with it. Now, don't think I didn't speak up on it, but I allowed it. Didn't push it. Now I'm going after the judges. Some of the judges are dead, and I'm glad that they're dead. What you say? I said I'm glad that they're dead. Because they should not be sucking up any more oxygen. Ladies and gentlemen, some people are going to misunderstand that. If a person is not wicked, the Bible promises them a resurrection. I believe in the resurrection. So if you hear me say I'm glad that somebody's dead, hey, that's the penalty. The penalty for sin is death. So I'm glad that they paid for their sins. See, people, if you were to know me, you would understand that. But because many of you don't know me, you will take what I say and you'll just run with it. I say I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses. So before you start running with anything, what you have to realize is that I would never say anything to contradict my God and what his scriptures say. That's not how it works. Okay? You just need to really understand that. Jehovah, my God, is my best friend. Jesus, the true Christ, is my best friend. Do you understand that? And then we have my friend who passed away, or is resting, as Paul says, in death. What are you doing? Don't worry about there being a startup item. I will take care of that. Oh no, we can't have that. There can't be no WSPs because I didn't give that permission to start up. So we cancel that. Ladies and gentlemen, they've been hacking my computer left and right. I just found that's why malware bytes, that has been a lifesaver. 1,000 viruses on the computer the other day. There weren't no viruses on the computer except for one the day before, but it's a replicating virus. It's like the Borg. Star Trek. Okay, back to the conversation. The gentleman who moderated the video was Yusuf L. And I'm going to let all of you know, Yusuf L. and I have had an incident in the past, and it was basically a misunderstanding. And he asked our organization to do something, and we did it. Just that simple. The same thing with SEDM, the Sovereign Education Defense Ministry. We had one of their documents that was donated to us. We didn't know that they were claiming copyright. Although, you know me, as long as you use the statutory laws are copywritten. They're not public laws. People need to understand that. Statutes are not laws. They are copywritten codes where they've changed and or altered it. That's how they can take control of it. So, you use somebody else's copywritten material without their permission, then you don't have permission to claim copyright. That was the argument. But that was our position. Their position was, could you please take it down? We took it down. Yusuf L., I didn't know, because when he spoke, I now understood what people really thought. I didn't know you all understood about the amount of work. I'm doing 7 days a week, people. God, I cannot begin to tell you, having to fight the system, having to fight them interfering with my computer, and still working and helping everybody, running these organizations, helping to keep these organizations together. I didn't know people paid attention. Yusuf L did myself, let's say, honor, because he spoke about the amount of debt we've helped people to discharge. As of this point right now, we're over $2.6 trillion because I told you. My arbitrations include almost 89 different corporations and or organizations and or government institutions and or states. Just that simple. And it's over the total amount, because I also have an arrangement with the gentleman at Bradley Christopher Stark, and so all of that's included because there's a couple of $1 billion in that one that I wrote off. So discharging of the debt, not to mention the amount of debt we've been able to discharge. Look, ladies and gentlemen, each one of you that have used an hour style money order, you heard what I said, hour style money order, and you have gotten discharged, including many of you who have gotten your houses because you used an hour style money order. Yes, 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 I know it's been hit and miss because you don't understand the process. Do the hour style money orders still work? Yes, but you have to be insistent and persistent. And if you've ever, pay attention, you really need to pay attention. If you've ever used an hour style money order to discharge a debt, then do a 1099A and a 1099C. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what minute we are, so let me go ahead and go here because it's 6:40 something in the morning. Okay, 36 minutes. So go to the 36-minute mark. Tell your friends. Because now we're going to start talking about the credits. But I just wanted to say to Mr. Yusuf L that he has shown me that he is an honorable person. And that his channel, the fact that he was able to keep everything civil in the conversation, and twice, because a person listened to the video and they marked down the times that they mentioned me, twice someone tried to make me the center of conversation, and he took that and focused them back on the subject matter, and that is more appreciated than anything else. See, it should never be about me, because I'm not out there talking about me. It's everybody else who is either jealous or who has an agenda. And the people who were leading that cause had an agenda. Ladies and gentlemen, that's why I don't allow comments on my videos, because people don't stay on the subject matter. They want to change the subject matter. Well, on my videos, you don't have my permission. In my comment section, now, okay, there are some videos on the other channel. What other channel? This channel right here. This is Eon 1. Okay? That channel. Yeah, see there, this is the Eon channel. This is the Eon 1 channel. There are two different channels here, ladies and gentlemen. This is just a backup that we just put files on, and people find it and they go there and they have signed up. So I'm going to start posting the videos on that channel very soon. Okay? And then we have the other channel. Watch this. I'm going to do switch accounts. We have the RedressRight channel. So that's part of the Eon channel. See that? Both on the same list. So we have these three channels on YouTube. In the future, the Eon 1 channel we're going to start using. But Again, I say thank you to Mr. Yusuf L. He didn't do me no favors. He didn't owe me no favors. It was the way he conducted himself. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to moderate a video, if you're going to moderate a group, then if you don't stay on point, if you allow the group to get off track, then you won't get anywhere. You'll be all over the place. Yusuf L, Jonah Bey, you guys hear me mention them quite often, especially when I talk about the gurus. Why? Because Yusuf L and Jonah Bey were helping people on a large scale before I was. I would help people, but it would be small, in the, like 1 or 2 people, probably sometimes 3. But the fact is, they've been trying to help people. And I have a lot of respect for people who are trying to help people. I don't care what your opinions are. We have Jerry Kane, the late Jerry Kane. A lot of respect for Jerry Kane. Never met Jerry Kane. But I liked Jerry Kane because of what Jerry Kane was trying to do. Winston Shrout. Don't care what you have to say about Winston Shrout. Don't care if you're watching this and looked at that and saw this and heard that. I don't care. Winston Shrout, Doug Riddle, okay? Tim Turner has no idea how much respect I have for him. Okay? Then we are not going to mix anything about the British people, especially Mr. Lowry, who's no longer doing videos about any of this anymore, but I had a lot of respect for Lowry. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies and gents, again, that's a mixture of, ladies and gentlemen, we have Anthony Hamilton in the house. Okay? So it's a mixture of that and Mr. Ben Lowry that you get me saying, ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies and gents. I borrowed that from the 2 of them. I'm just letting you know. Because I have respect for certain individuals who are what we refer to as gurus, old timers. Now there are a lot of Sharif. We haven't spoken a while, but many of you know of Sharif. Sharif keeps it in the private. And I respect Sharif. I like Sharif. Sharif has a lot of knowledge. Okay? I did a video the other day saying if only we could come together and stop going at each other. The system wants to divide us. Ladies and gentlemen, what you all need to know is that somebody has been putting out this information that they're going to go after people for paper terrorism. Ladies and gentlemen, they can try to go after people for paper terrorism, but they can't. Do you know why? Because paper terrorism is a statutory offense. It's not a constitutional offense. The right to petition is the right to petition. Can you abuse the right to petition? Yeah, but you need to let me know I've done it. You can't just ignore me. See, government messes up when they ignore. Tell me what's wrong with what I've done. Point out the part that's wrong. Okay, well then when did you notify me? So that I could correct it. Because the law says that you must give me an opportunity to correct my pleading. I hate the word pleading, but you know what I mean. So there's a lot of information out there. But you know what? Stop listening to all these people. Give you all this information unless they can actually show you what they're talking about. Don't let nobody tell you, well, what I heard. I got it from a reliable source. That's what the news, the flaky news media does. They tell you, well, it's said, it's believed, or we have it on information from a highly respected official, an official in the highest office of the department. Excuse me, an unnamed official. Then that means that it's not reliable, people. If they're not willing to name their source, don't listen to them. That's the news. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about credits if y'all don't mind. Now, as I said, we're going to talk about this gentleman. I promise you, if you go and you listen, one of his videos, see, this one's 4 hours because he's doing seminars. As a matter of fact, let's go to videos as opposed to the home page. Ladies and gentlemen, go take a listen. Now, you'll hear he'll repeat himself on certain things, the same as you'll hear me repeat myself. The reason why you're going to hear me repeat myself because nothing has changed. Okay? Nothing has changed. The processes are still the same. Now, what I did is I went and I listened to this, and I haven't finished listening to him. I just started listening to him because you know what I wanted, and the common law motion. Whew, listen to that too. Now, there are some things that I know has been adjusted, but by all means, go and listen. Now, I don't know if this individual has deceased because this was 9 years ago, and I don't see any new videos. Okay, and I know this is not his channel. You follow me? I know that he's associated with 1215.org. Yo, Thornton, who's another one of the gurus. Don't think that I don't recall, remember. And Sam Davis. See, I can go on and on and on about the gurus. But many of them, they've all put in jail. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, before we talk about the tax credits, let me give you something that many of you guys, and they're going to hate me for it, and I don't care. You must notify the Internal Revenue Service of your tax status. Many of you have not been doing that. I told you I did this in 1992. I wrote the Internal Revenue Service, told them that I was not a taxpayer, not because somebody told it to me, but I looked and it said taxpayer. Well, that's not my name. That's not my title. I've never assumed that title. You know, if you are a taxpayer, well, I am not a taxpayer. I pay taxes, but I'm not a taxpayer. That is a legal term, ladies and gentlemen. So I told them I'm not a taxpayer. I told them that I don't make an income, that everything I earn is for personal use. I'm not making a profit. I'm not out there trying to do anything other than to earn a living. And I did that verbatim. I told them, however, if I do make a profit, I will do my darndest to let you all know. Never heard from them again. To this day, they have never said, oh, you owe back taxes for the year or this, that, and the other. I wish they would. And I'm not joking with you. Because the law requires that you notify the Internal Revenue Service of your tax status. And every time you do a 1040, you are notifying them of your tax status. You're saying I'm a taxpayer when you're not even writing off your expenses as personal use, household goods, non-commercial, but consumer goods. La 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 la. Sorry if you can't hear Mr. Al Green and the music in the background. See, I can't tell. I just know my songs are playing. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let's talk ourselves about some credits on taxes. Let's do this. We're going to open up a new window. Now, watch what I put. Tax credits. And what I want to do is I want to use tax credits to pay a car loan. Okay. Did I mess up something? Oh, it had car loan together. Okay. Car loan payments. We don't want a tax deduction. See, that's the problem. I found it the other day and have not been able to find it since. There was one that actually talked about using credits to pay a debt. Okay? using credits to pay a debt. So I didn't find it right here. Watch this. Hold on. FEDERAL. Now see what you're going to get. I want you to all to pay attention. Most of them is going to be talking about if you received an overpayment. Okay? So we don't care about the overpayment. What we're looking for is utilizing tax credits to pay a debt. And Google, the algorithm is designed to throw us off. So I'm not going to pause this so I can find, because I kept the page open, but it takes too long to go back through it. You see all these pages, people? And I don't know which window it's open. It's under, excuse me. So utilizing tax credits to pay a debt. Okay? That's what you want. Why? Because tax credits, watch this. Let me walk you through it because y'all need to understand that. Because everybody think, oh, tax credits, you can't do nothing with tax credits. It's a sham, and everything else. So, watch this. Yeah, because my button, I haven't corrected it. Now, give me 1 second, y'all. My screen is flickering because I just turned on the TV. Well, I use it as a monitor. Okay, see that presentation mode up there? I don't know if you can see it, but I can see it. So I use my TV as a monitor. Ladies and gentlemen, I do need you to understand the tax court held that a taxpayer's sale of state income taxes resulted in a capital gain. Pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. The taxpayer's sale of tax credits, doesn't matter if it's state or federal. The sale of tax credits results in a capital gain. Tax credits are assets. See, are tax credits considered an asset? The tax court has held that blah, blah, blah are capital gains, not ordinary income. So it's not income tax like they said here. So federal or state, it says it's a capital gain since the payment received for the sale were not a substitute for ordinary income. Okay, what's considered an asset by the IRS? Well, it doesn't matter what's considered an asset by the IRS. It matters what's considered an asset under law. In most situations, the basis for an asset is its cost to you. The cost is the amount you pay for it in cash. Debt obligations and other property or services. Debt obligations. Ladies and gentlemen, your debt is an asset. Costs include sales tax and other expenses connected to the purchase. So you must understand what an asset is. Here it is right here, basis of asset. Tax topic 703. Go and take a look at it. I'm not going to tell you to take a look at it. I'm going to suggest you go take a look at it. Every other day. Sorry. Hey, heat wave, everybody. Are tax credits accounts receivables? Don't care. What is a federal tax credit? Don't care. Are tax credits deferred tax assets? What is considered an asset? Let's find out what an asset is considered as. An asset is anything you own that adds financial value. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's why they can be sold, because they are something of value. You received tax credits. You received something of value. Just imagine if people were to understand what's going to be said on the next video about downloading the contracts with SAA if you have a mortgage. Doesn't matter what your position is on your mortgage, and filling out the mortgage contract, or if you have a current mortgage, doing a QWR mortgage contract and sending that junk off. I'm sorry, sending that contract off and having them default. And now you have tax credits, which amounts to, after 90 days, an asset that can be utilized. Really. So it has value. Like I said, we'll be doing a video on that to get you all's attention so that you'll know. All right. Allocation of tax credits. The IRS. The tax credits most commonly seen in a partnership context are the low-income housing credits. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't care about most often. We care about whether or not you have the right to consider that asset an asset. So watch this. I'm not telling you guys to do what I'm about to show you, okay? I just need y'all to understand, because some of y'all won't get it. Y'all won't get it. So watch what I do. You know, you must have blown a spell on my mind. Now pay attention. We're moving a little slow right now. HOW to SELL. I just want to know how to sell my tax credits. Y'all know what I mean? Because I might be able to sell them. Ah, tax credit exchange. Uh-oh. Ooh-wee. Renewable energy. Tax break sale. How to acquire federal tax credit investment. Moss Adams. I would call them and ask them questions. I wouldn't talk to them about where they came from or how they came about, because you'll end up running into brick walls. But I just ask them, what's the process? And how can I assign the value? How to acquire federal tax credits as investment opportunities. No, we're not trying to acquire federal tax credits, because that means that we invest in things and we receive tax credits. Shh, don't tell nobody. Sorry, I had to cough. Early in the morning, ragweed, cottonwood, that type of morning. Tax credits are either transferable. Tax credits are either transferable, meaning that they can be sold by an entity, earning them, and purchased by another, or non-transferable. You all have some research you need to do. See, now if you file a 1040 or a 1040 SR, Schedule C, you may be eligible to claim earned income tax credits. That's where you put the documentation of your tax credits on your 1040s. You're doing there are other forms that you need to fill out. Do your research. Okay? Many people are trying to figure things out. Ladies and gentlemen, fine, how to sell tax credits. See, this is not going to tell us how to sell tax credits. It's going to take us to another search engine. See? Search. So you don't click on that, because it's an ad, ladies and gentlemen. Stay away from the ads. Now, why is everyone up there an ad? Federal income tax treatment on certain transferable states. Well, see, we're again, doesn't matter what you do on a state level, it's federal. There's a separation. Taxpayers that are unable to use existing state tax credits may consider selling them at a discount to generate additional cash and avoid being blah, 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 blah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, why don't you sell them seriously to your trust? See, can tax credits be sold? Hold on, let's click on this. Tax credits are either transferable, blah, 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 blah. And it's usually determined by the law creating the tax credits. Isn't that interesting? So yes, ladies and gentlemen, the tax credits that you receive from the SACOM organization, you'll have to do your research, because they don't fall under the other tax scheme. And by the way, if you purchase tax credits, okay, watch this. Step right up, y'all. Now, this is tax credits transferable explain. So let's, I don't want to sell my tax credits. What I want to sell is tax credits that were transferred. Okay? Selling a tax credit is generally a two-step process. This is the site that I want to take you to. This is a website I found earlier. And that's, remember I showed you those PDFs? I've taken the page and I put it in a PDF. Selling tax credits. You see where we are right here, conservative tax credit transfer. Okay, conservation tax credits, selling tax credits, buying tax credits. Okay, do your research first before you start calling them up. Read everything here before you start calling them up. Okay, get to know. You don't need to be sending anybody any documents. You just need to know the process. Just need to know that there is a process. Okay, I hope some of you understand. Remember I told you, sorry about that coughing again. It's not a cough, it's a clearing my throat because we have the weather changing. Right now, remember a week and a half ago we were in the hundreds. Right now we're 58 degrees. Worst time of year for me is spring and fall when we're going from one season to the next. It really does cause me a lot of problems. So, just got to deal with it. Ladies and gentlemen, so that you all get it, so that you all understand it, let's go ahead and explain it because you won't get it unless it's explained. Does that make sense? The first thing we're going to explain to you about your credits and about the information on the screen is those are yours. That's your property. It's an asset. Now, what you don't understand, if it's an asset, watch this. I want assets are collateral. Hold on. Okay, what is a collateral note? It's a note that you get that's based on collateral. Most of your notes, see, are simply promissory notes that commit a specific resource to the repayment of an outstanding loan amount. Okay, most of your notes are collateral notes, but assets are collateral. So let's get rid of this. Yeah, as you can see, I downloaded that from YouTube. That's why I said the best of Soul Train. Okay, downloaded that from YouTube. Just download the music. Look, it won't let me delete it. It said, nope, you just stuck with this note thing. Come on now. Okay. And that's because of the system's resources, playing music, sharing the screen. Assets pledged as collateral. I really do appreciate that because that's what I'm looking for. A pledged asset is collateral held by a lender in return for lending funds. Pledged assets can reduce the down payment that is typically. So, ladies and gentlemen, can you pledge your assets as collateral to the United States? Check it out. No, no, no. Check it out. Not that I hit the wrong button. Oh, come on. All right. Let's see if it do it this time. Collateral pledged and security agreement. If you guys take a look at your SAT packs, especially the SAT pack 1s and SAT pack 2s, you will see that there is a section called Pledge Collateral. Now, this was first brought to my attention by that person, Hazim, the one who I told you that I was helping and we had an agreement, and he sat up there and came up, was able to get what he was looking for, but ignored me and didn't communicate with me after he got what he wanted. Ladies and gentlemen, that happens a lot. So don't think that he was the first to do it. He won't be the last either. Okay? Pledging of collateral by a financial institution is necessary to protect the federal government against the risk of loss. All of you are financial institutions. You have tax credits now. You can now comply with, hold on now, hold on, 12 USC 412. The Federal Reserve Act as amended March 9, 1933. Hold on now. Just want y'all to pay attention. That's why I'm showing this to you. Application for notes, collateral required. Now let's talk about the pledge part. Sorry, still clearing my throat. Apologize. Ain't got time to be hitting no pause button. In no event shall the collateral security be less than the amount of the Federal Reserve notes applied for. What happens if you're applying for a $50,000 loan? You can't give them a collateral security, a note for $25,000. So it has to be for at least the amount paid applied for. The Federal Reserve agent shall each day notify the Federal Reserve Board system of all issues and withdrawals of Federal Reserve notes to and by the Federal Reserve Bank for which he is accredited. The Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve may at any time call upon the Federal Reserve Bank for additional securities to protect the Federal Reserve note issue. Collateral shall not be required, blah, blah, blah. Assets, ladies and gentlemen. Your collateral is an asset for getting a loan. I didn't say it, they said it. Okay? You just got to understand what's going on. So because you're a bank, you must have assets. So many of you receive tax credits. Tax credits are an asset. I just need for you all to understand that there is a lot that I can't discuss with you because certain laws would hold that we are in conspiracy together. We are in cahoots. Ladies and gentlemen, I ain't in nobody's hoots. I'm leaving. What? I'm going to walk away from love. Look, I hope you all can still hear me. What I have to do is I have an 80 switch because I have two TVs that I use as monitors. Breaks his heart. He's going to walk away from love because it breaks his heart. Gonna walk away. Sorry. I've always liked this song too, as you all can tell. Hey, in my generation's opinion, you can have no better music. And that's the majority of my generation. Their opinion is exactly what I just stated. Don't knock them for that, because in my opinion, they're right. Let's get back to this so that we're going to step away from all of this. See, I told you, if people can't show you what they're talking about, don't listen to them. Okay? This is chapter 4000. Pay attention. Chapter 4000? How many other chapters were there before this? Chapter 4000. I apologize. Let's go here. The pledging of collateral by a financial institution, okay, provides Federal Reserve banks, which includes you, with requirements and standards for operating, procedures, and safekeeping, reporting, and monitoring collateral pledged by depositories to secure public money on deposit. What? The information, they're not hiding this from you guys. It's all right here. I've not gone here before, but I do know that if we break it on down, ladies and gentlemen, what is a Federal Reserve Bank? Now, name me any Federal Reserve Bank. So what is any Federal Reserve Bank? Any Federal Reserve Bank. So because they say any Federal Reserve Bank, it includes everybody, everything, and everyone. So the first thing it's going to do is tell us to go to Section 221. So we're going to go to Section 221A, Only so that we can go to section 221. Because I just want to click on the links. I'm not just going to go to section 221. Right here it says the word bank, including Federal Reserve Bank. The word bank, because it's part of Federal Reserve Bank. The word bank is part of State Bank. The word bank is part of Member Bank. The word bank is part of Banking Association. The word bank is part of National Banking Association. Pay attention, the word bank is included. So whenever the word bank is used in Title 12, the word shall be held to include any state bank, banking association, any trust organization, except where federal national banks and Federal Reserve banks are specifically referred to. Well, that one said any, so that means it's not specific, it's general. Pay attention. The purpose of this chapter, a state bank includes any bank. That's why I said any banking institution, any trust company, any bank which is operating under the Code of Laws of the District of Columbia. Well, all banks operate under the Code of Law of the District of Columbia. Lord have mercy. Remember, Congress has the right to regulate money, so all banks operate under the District of Columbia. Shh, don't tell nobody. Now look, the term National Bank and Banking Association, we don't care about them. We're going to go with Member Bank right here. Want y'all to pay attention because y'all don't understand. The term Member Bank shall be held to mean any national bank, any state bank, or look at that, bank. Well, did not Presidential Proclamation 2039 say y'all are banks? Did you not give your child a piggy bank when they were young? Well, no, I didn't give them a piggy bank. Your grandmama did. You gave them a piggy bank the moment you gave them pants with pockets, or you gave them that little purse to walk around with. Those are banks, people. You're making a deposit. A banking institution is anyone that is in the normal business of receiving deposits. Do you not take your funds and put them in your pockets? That means you're receiving a deposit. Shh, don't tell nobody. Okay, so now that we got the bank thing taken care of, ladies and gentlemen, hey, y'all know this song, don't y'all? Come on now. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, y'all just gotta love this song like I do. All right, any bank may make an application to the local Federal Reserve agent for such an amount of Federal Reserve notes. So, y'all, we're going to tell y'all, have y'all applications. Do your applications. Why? Because it's all about an application. You can't get any loan without an application. Go ahead and try to get a student loan, a car loan, or even a mortgage loan, or a hard money loan without filling out an application. Okay? You can apply by the use of an application hereinafter or hereinbefore Section 411 for Federal Reserve notes, provided as it may require it. So contact the Federal Reserve agent and ask, hey, what's the requirement for me receiving Federal Reserve notes? Now they'll say, well, you just need to fill this out and you just need to have some collateral. Well, hold on, you're right, I need to have some collateral. So give me the promissory note so that I can give you the collateral security as expressed in this section. Why are you guys having to have them run credit checks? The only credit check that they're supposed to be running is if it's a necessity. Go ahead. This is how you get a loan. Car loan, student loan. You go directly to the bank and say, hey, I want to apply this. I want to apply for Federal Reserve notes. You're a Federal Reserve agent, aren't you? Well, I need to apply this section right here. And I'm applying for $350,000. Don't get stupid. Some of y'all are going to want to apply for 10 million, 20 million. No. Already have the car, already have the house, already have that already scoped out. I'm going to suggest, pay attention, you go down to the dealership. Okay? You point out a car that you're interested in. Remember, let them make the offer first. How do you get them to make the offer? Well, again, I told you what I would do. I would go down to the dealership. I'd ask them, because I want a sedan. What a sunroof. So they, oh yeah, we have that. I said, okay, now I want a DVD player in the dash, and I want it to get at least 35 miles to the gallon. Oh, we don't have nothing like that. Really? Huh. I would figure with global warming and everything that everybody should be working on efficiency. Well, what we have is over here. Would you like to take a look? Yeah, sure. They just made me an offer to come take a look. So you don't fill out no contract? Well, we're going to need to run your credit. Well, I'm just going to need to take the offer. This is not being done through my credit. This is being done by a direct loan. I'll take care of my own financing. That's all you have to say. And take the application and do a promissory note. Ladies and gentlemen, watch this. I know nobody's ever done this for you. FEDERALRESE PROM. Now, I said Federal Reserve promissory notes. Typically, yes. The Federal Reserve note is a promissory note. We don't care about that. The reason why I did it the way I just did it, ladies and gentlemen, is because I put application, note and application, because it wants to call a Federal Reserve note a promissory note when it's not a promissory note anymore. Go and take a look. Oh, I did it again. Sorry, hit two buttons. Come on, give me my space bar. All right. Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. Do you see this right here? Federal Reserve promissory note and application. Look, I need y'all to understand something. I've never looked this up before. This is what I was getting ready to do for myself. I wasn't telling nobody about this. I want y'all to pay attention. I'm giving it to you. You see, this is what I do. While everybody else is out there talking about everything else, I've stayed on one subject. I told everybody I was going back to the foundation that controlled everything. And then I was going to provide you guys with the information. So don't let anybody out there ever talk about this man in a negative way. Because ain't nobody providing this for you. Ain't nobody explaining this information to you. Go ahead. Go ahead. No. Go ahead. Let's see anybody else talking about this. Go ahead and look. Go throughout Google, go throughout YouTube. Ain't nobody else talking about this. Go ahead. Last 10 years, last 15 years. Well, such and such, such and such. Yeah, such and such, such and such. Man, I've been hearing about such and such, such and such, and such and such, such and such. Started messing with such and such, such and such. And he should have left such and such alone, because by dealing with such and such, he ended up having to deal with such and such, such and such. And then such and such happened. And you know when such and such happens? Man, such and such doesn't get away with nothing. So I already know about such and such, such and such. There you go, ladies and gentlemen, the story of such and such, such and such. You can use it. I've been doing that one for a long time. Okay? It's not patented. Yes, it is. Ladies and gentlemen, just so that you get it, what is he trying to tell us here? He's trying to tell us here that the banks have been making us believe we have to go through them, letting them do all the process, when we can just simply give the application and notes to the Federal Reserve. Now pay attention. This is the Federal Reserve Board. This is their website. Application for notes by the Federal Reserve. You know that this comes from the March 9, 1933 Act amending the Federal Reserve Act. This is the very same section. Issuance of Federal Reserve notes, nature of obligation. This is section 411. This right here, application for notes, this is section 412. This is their website showing you. Okay? This is the Federal Reserve Act, the amendment to the Federal Reserve Act. This is the March 9, 1933 Act codified. Okay? Just so you know. Appropriations. We don't care about that. None of this stuff at the bottom means any transfer of funds among nobody. Settlement fund. Nobody. Expenses. You might want to go over that stuff later, but for right now, what you need to be going over is this understanding right here, number 2. Application for notes. Any Federal Reserve Bank may make application to local Federal Reserve agent for such an amount of Federal Reserve notes here and before provided right there on that section as may be required, and such application shall be accompanied with a tender of payment, to the Federal Reserve agent of collateral security. A promissory note is a tender of payment, people. The collateral security thus offered shall be notes, drafts, bills of exchange, and or acceptances acquired under these sections. So it says number 10A, 10B, 13, 13A of this act. They tell you where to go. It's right here on their website. How do I get there? Well, you go to federalreserve.gov/about the Fed. All one word, all lowercase, about the Fed, FED, /section 16.htm. That's it. Go right there. You'll pull it up. I've shown it to you before. Just haven't gone over it in detail like this. So, now, these are sample applications. See? Free promissory note template. Okay? So let's understand. Larry Graham, a 1 in a million you. A 1 in a million you. Ladies and gentlemen, see where it says fraudulent? See that microtone line around there? Yeah, that's what makes it fraudulent. So don't do that. See this right here? They say fraudulent. Don't do that. We don't care about that because there's more fraud here than anything else. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Treasury has a promissory note. The Federal Reserve has a promissory note that they use. See? Capital Reserve Line Credit Application. Capital Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, you can get a promissory note from anybody. Okay? Federal Reserve discount window lending. So all you need to do is get a Federal Reserve promissory note. Just a standard promissory note will do. Okay? And an application. So Federal Reserve application. Let's just do Federal Reserve application. It's definitely a promissory note application. Federal Reserve note application, but we don't want to do that. So I don't want to put form. I want to put PDF. We cried together. Somebody give that man some napkins so they ain't got to do this no more. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I have some other things that I'm putting together so that we can take care of some things. Now, they have electronic applications now, ladies and gentlemen, because it's done electronically. We've shown you that in a previous video. So I want the PDF. I didn't ask them for electronic. International application, prior notification, no. Supporting statement. Oh, you definitely want this because you're going to have to do a supporting statement. You definitely want that, okay? So, you want to follow the principles. Okay? We don't care about for employment. We're not worried about employment, okay? We want the supporting statement principle because of course you're going to have to do a cover letter. We want the supporting statement for the supporting statement principle. I'm not trying to tell you to use their supporting statement. I'm trying to tell you that you need a cover letter. That's your supporting statement. Okay? Some of y'all ain't gonna understand. Y'all gonna think that it's just gibberish. Ladies and gentlemen, your cover letter is your supporting statement. You just want to follow the principles of supporting statements. Sorry, I can't type and talk at the same time anymore. I literally have tried and it just doesn't work. I don't want an e-application. I want an actual application form. So give me a second. Now, and it may be that you may have to use a form with a bank. Okay. See, the Federal Reserve System eases the application submission process. Now look, this is SEC. That's not it. I want this one right here. Why? Because this is going to tell you guys how to do an application to the Federal Reserve. Remember, you are a bank. Understand that you are a bank. Okay? And of course they want you to do the electronic service, but don't worry about it. Now you have this information. And then we, how do you do that? Mama, what they talking about? See, I can only listen to this song because I'm thinking that he's talking to his wife, not talking to that other woman. Okay, because other than that, I couldn't listen to it if he's promoting adultery. And I don't think that that's what he's doing. I think because they cried together, I'm thinking that they're talking about not being the only people in the world who go through ups and downs and turns around. Okay? That's what I'm thinking. And see, because people always say, man, there must be something wrong with you. Tell them about the ups and downs and changes and turnarounds. Now, report forms. So nobody's asking about a report form. Nobody's worried about consumer complaint forms. I'm only worried about applications. Okay. Now, it's used large benchmark surveys. Nobody is caring about. Now, this is the application. The Fed normally has an application for membership. Ladies and gentlemen, you guys don't need an application for membership. You're already part of the Federal Reserve. I just need Interagency Bank Merger Act application. No. What I need for you guys to understand one thing, wait a minute, hold on. There is something wrong. Hold on. This is the computer, the so-called web browser VPN. We ain't playing that web browser. My web browser is supposed to be on. Hold on, where's my web browser? You better shut down. I don't know why that keeps popping up. Oh, that's right. That's how you get rid of that. All right, anyway. Ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. It's a .com website. It's download the free Federal Reserve Black Card application. Man, I want a Black Card application. Why would you go for that, ladies and gentlemen? Do not do that. This is not done by the Federal Reserve. This is done by an individual. They created an application that ain't gonna get you nowhere. Okay, .com don't work for stuff like that. Now, see, sign now. Federal Reserve Black Card form. Okay, I didn't say nothing about no Black Card. I said application. See, e-app, so they do everything by electronic form. Okay, just that simple. Banking application. You know what? The primary function of the banking applications unit is to take action, foreign banking. So I'm going to suggest I need this. Uh-oh. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why it's blocked is because the VPN is on. Okay? It literally just blocked me. It says, no, you ain't coming over here. We don't play that. Aw. Okay, we'll take care of that another time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope. Oh, yeah, sorry. There is. Yeah, ain't no background updates going on. I don't play that. What are you? Yeah, that's the one that it was telling me about. I don't ever want to stop. Loving me. Don't you ever stop. All right. What I'm doing is I'm going through this list right here because these are programs that are starting when my computer starts. And I just was checking to make sure that nothing was starting up that shouldn't have been starting up. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, gentlemen and ladies, ladies and gents, my job was to provide you an hour and 30 minutes worth of information. The latter part of the video, from 37 minutes on to here, which is basically an hour, I hope was more than beneficial. I hope it provided you with what you needed to move forward with your credits. Okay? There are some Rosenthals and some Hubbards and a couple others out there that need this information for understanding, but you all need to keep mind. Oh, it's 31 minutes. Anyway, you all need to keep mind of one thing. I cannot help you with what you think I can help you with. They put in so many restraints in the law that I don't want to invalidate your credits by there being a fraud claim. So I cannot. But what I can tell you that you have assets now. Tried to tell you from the very beginning this was going to be the benefits. Remember, you have a lot of these corporations that are literally not making any money. This is COVID time. Ain't nobody bringing in no money. So how are these companies able to stay in business? It's not what you know, it's who you know. And see, ladies and gentlemen, that's why I have malware bytes. I don't know what this site is. I'm not trying to, 360. No, this one is okay. I should be going there, but I'm going to leave it alone for now. But while you're on your computer, you don't realize how many times someone is trying to access your computer. So I have several softwares on here to let me know when people are trying to access my computer, when websites are trying to access the computer. But anyway, let's get back to the conversation. There's only about maybe probably 40 of you to 100 of you that will watch the whole video. And because you watched the whole video, you got information that the other people didn't get, that they won't get for about a year, 2 years down the line, that they'll finally come back and listen. Because they'll say, well, maybe he said something in this video about this or that. I'd be like, man, I wish I had known that. Oh, well, I don't spend all of this time talking. This is an hour and 33 minutes of talking to you guys. Why do you think I have my music in the background? It's not what I want to do. But too many of you guys are lost. Too many of you guys don't know what to do. Too many of you guys are being used and abused. So I do this. I hope you got something out of it. Take care, everyone. Gotta go.